Alrighty. Yes, teamies, welkom op onze Sunday evening call. Super dat jullie zo talrijk aanwezig zijn, meer dan 60 mensen. Leuk, leuk, leuk. Voor mensen die nieuw zijn op de TeamCall, ja, uiteraard super welkom. Altijd leuk om met grote getallen aanwezig te zijn. Mensen, ik ben super excited, ik ben echt dol enthousiasme. We hebben straks niemand minder dan Chris Estes op onze call. Hij is nu even in zijn auto aan het rijden, dus hij zei het was heel druk in het verkeer om op tijd op onze call te zijn, maar hij komt eraan. Hij gaat uiteraard zijn businessstrategie uitleggen naar Nootropic Launch, die we aanstaande woensdag 9 november om exact 21 uur, dus 9 uur 's avonds, zullen lanceren. En hij zal een beetje mindset uiteraard ook trainen. Dus als je vragen hebt, mensen along the way, zet het gerust in de chat. We hebben hier een berichtjesbox op Zoom. Alles kan uiteraard. Goed, maar traditioneel post graag voor jullie één business win. Eén business win van deze week. Een PIB, double PIB, misschien ben je manager geworden. 5 cycle bonus, whatever. Ik zie het graag verschijnen in de chat. Oké, Tine zegt, mijn eerste consultant gemaakt. Super, ik zag jouw foto ook op Facebook, Tine. Staat je proficiat, een cycle, 48 euro in de pocket. Daar begin ik natuurlijk mee. 1 cycle in een week is genoeg om jouw producten terug te betalen. Dus 4 maal per week, 4 maal per maand liever. Nog business wins mensen. Ja, Tim en Ilse, nieuwe consultant, proficiat. Bernadette, leuk, 1 inschrijving. Echt de max om te lezen. Ja, inderdaad. Saskia Kempenaar, proficiat. Executive, Crystal Executive, de hoogste rank binnen ons systeem, binnen ons businessmodel. Echt dikke, super congrats. Fenomenaal. Op een heel snelle periode, een heel snelle tijdspanne. Leuk. Sandra zegt 1 nieuwe klant. Top. Daar beginnen mee met mensen in jouw team, in jouw business te gaan enrollen. Sandra Dukele zegt 1 consultant. Ja, leuk Sandra. Je bent mega on fire. We hebben nog Elisabeth Prospect voor de business. Uiteraard leuk om klanten te hebben voor de producten. Volgende week uiteraard massaal voor een Nootropic. Maar als mensen zeggen, ja, ik wil wel geld verdienen, altijd welkom. Jessica van der Linden zegt, een leuke meeting gehad afgelopen vrijdag. Inderdaad, traditioneel post bij Jessica liever in het salon. Een tasting. Carmen dan zegt, 2 nieuwe inschrijvingen. Leuk, double PIB. Als het 2 inschrijvingen in een week was, double PIB. Debbie zegt, Timmy Rubis zegt 2 consultants erbij. Leuk, super, proficiat Debbie. Jacqueline zegt een inschrijving, top. Lindsay zegt 2 cycles, 2 maal 48 euro. Hugo zegt 10 cycles, wauw. 10 cycle bonus, als het de eerste keer was, dan heb je de 10 cycle bonus in de pocket. Ja, dat zijn dus leuke bedragen, Hugo. Cedric en Sylvie, officiële aankondiging ontvangen dat we een partnership met Xantippe mogen starten. Leuk, dus ik vermoed het kapsalon te Brugge. Barbara Gandolfi zegt double PIB plus nieuw salon opgestart. Super Barbara. Jill zegt nieuwe teams. Ja, altijd leuk om een team te gaan uitbreiden. Team Growth inderdaad. Caroline Deren. Vanmiddag nog een gesprek gehad met ook een Caroline uit het Franstalige gedeelte, uit de regio Brussel. Welkom bij het team en welkom op onze teamcall, Caroline. Malika zegt 3 nieuwe klantjes proficiat. Malika, echt leuk om te zien. Ik ga je er even unmuten, want er zijn nog maar mensen die niet op mute staan. Goed. Ik ga kijken of Chris al binnengekomen is. Zo niet. Oké, ik ga... Sander, neem je even over voor de komende week als je wilt. Money Monday en Wellbeing. Ik ga even Chris binnen laten ondertussen. Dank u.
Ja, helemaal goed, Michael. Allereerst echt super gaaf, want we hebben 72 mensen in de call. Los van, we hebben een hele stoot mensen die altijd de recording nog terugkijken, omdat ze zondagavond niet kunnen of andere dingen hebben, overigens ook geen probleem. Maar ik denk dat het super tof is, als Chris eigenlijk in de call komt, dat zoveel als van ons allemaal die aanwezig zijn, dat we zichtbaar zijn. Het is als spreker is het soms best wel frustrerend, kan ik je eerlijk zeggen, als je tegen zwarte schermpjes aan zit te kijken. Dus voor degenen die in de gelegenheid zijn om straks de camera aan te zetten, ik zou het je echt willen aanmoedigen om dat te doen. Maar 72 mensen in de call, super tof. Michael, waar ga ik nog meer de tijd mee volpraten? De agenda. los van de evenementen die er gaan komen, de wekelijkse calls. Ik begin nu een andere volgorde, woensdagavond well-being. Dus dat is voor alle nieuwe distributeurs. Als je zelf nog een beetje oriënterende bent, een beetje zoekende bent naar de voedingssystemen, dan is de well-being webinar op woensdag een goede call. Als je mensen hebt die geïnteresseerd zijn in de producten om mogelijk klant te gaan worden, is dat een super goede call. Ik denk dat het goed is dat we de nootropics ook woensdag in de call gaan integreren. Dus als je mensen hebt die zeggen, ik wil toch iets meer weten over nootropics elixir, die na de call te bestellen is, want woensdagavond 9 uur gaan we los en ik hoop dat jullie klaar zijn. Normaal zou ik zeggen, zet een 1 in de chat als je er klaar voor bent, maar ik geloof wel dat we er klaar voor zijn. Dus dat is woensdagavond. En maandagavond is er iemand gevonden die de Money Monday webinar gaat doen. En ik zeg het met een kleine glimlach, want ik doe morgenavond zelf de Money Monday webinar. En het merendeel van jullie kent mij. Ik ga het hebben maandag tijdens de Money Monday webinar over money. Ik denk 10% over product, 90% ik ga het alleen maar hebben over geld. Over een oplossing waar we allemaal in zitten met de energiekosten, inflatie, reorganisaties. Dus ik ga het vooral hebben over geld. Dus als jij prospects hebt, als je teamleden hebt die geïnteresseerd zijn om geld te maken, plug maandagavond in, want ik ben fired up. Jessica zei laatst ook al tegen mij, ik weet niet wat er met je aan de hand is de laatste weken, maar we hebben niet extra gepeperd gegeten, maar er is iets. Ik zeg, ja Jess, ik zit in een bepaalde... Herken je dat je soms wel eens in een bepaalde flow zit? Dat je een bepaalde focus hebt? Dat je een bepaalde concentratie hebt? Nou, misschien komt het hierdoor. Maar ik heb hem helemaal te pakken. En ik ga het maandagavond hebben over geld. Dus als je mensen hebt die het over geld willen horen, die willen horen over hoe kan je nou met netwerk marketing geld verdienen, daar ga ik morgenavond over hebben. En het wordt een in-your-face webinar. In 20, 25 minuten ga ik echt rond. Dus dat zijn een beetje de webinars voor komende week, woensdag en maandag. Natuurlijk de wekelijkse teamcall. Ik vind het ook tof om te zien. We zitten trouwens op 76 mensen nu. En we hebben een aantal mensen, ik zie Tom en Esther, jullie zitten met z'n tweeën achter het scherm. Dus eigenlijk zijn we sommige mensen met dubbel. Dus ons doel is, ik weet niet of iedereen dat weet, maar ons doel is dat we dit jaar, voordat het dadelijk kerst is, dat we in deze call in ieder geval 1 keer 100 man in die call kunnen krijgen. En daar hebben we wat hulp bij nodig. En ik merk dat de mensen die regelmatig in de call zitten, op de een of andere manier krijg je meer energie in je whatever. Heb je meer peper in je reet? Heb je meer bekrachtiging van waarom ben ik ook alweer een keer begonnen? Weet je wel, wat is mijn why? En is dat nog steeds belangrijk? Of je wordt uit je comfortzone gehaald, want dat hebben we nog niet verteld. Maar als Chris dadelijk is geweest, hebben een aantal mensen opgetrommeld, pas een paar dagen van tevoren. En die gaan vanavond de 7 Core Commitments presenteren. En dat gaan we de komende week herhalen. We gaan een aantal mensen, nou ik zal niet zeggen voor het blok zetten, maar we gaan een aantal mensen uit de comfortzone trekken en vragen, wil jij 1 of meerdere van de Core Commitments presenteren? Want om dat elke keer van Michael of van ondergetekende te horen, ik kan me voorstellen dat je af en toe doof wordt voor onze manier van presenteren of onze taal. Klopt dat? Zet een 2 in de chat. Maar alle gekheid op een stokje. Het is goed om dat van anderen... Oh, heel veel tweetjes. Dankjewel, Kelly. Het is heel goed om dat ook een keer... Dat is wel heel confronterend dit. Ik krijg heel veel tweetjes. Het is goed om dat ook van andere mensen te horen. 1 is, het is goed om dat van anderen te horen. Maar 2 is, soms komt de boodschap, dezelfde boodschap van een ander, dat komt meer binnen. Plus als jij daadwerkelijk wordt gevraagd om 1 of meerdere van die core commitments te presenteren, dan denk je, oh shit, wat heb ik nou de afgelopen weken gehoord? Want je hoort het aan, of je hoort het en het landt. Begrijp je dit verschil? Dus je kan elke week in deze, ik zie een aantal mensen knikken, schrijf een 3 in de chat, maar je kan het aanhoren en denk ja, die Michael heeft wel gelijk met die 7 core commitments. Maar op het moment dat jij het moet gaan presenteren, dan komt het heel anders binnen. En dat het een beetje onwennig is, dus ik wil dadelijk echt een grote shout-out naar degenen die de ballen hebben gehad om vanavond ja te zeggen van ik ga dat doen, want ik zie er al een aantal in de call, vind ik echt super tof. Dat jullie dat willen doen. En we gaan jullie allemaal een virtuele applaus geven, een shout-out geven, want het is goed dat je uit je comfortzone gaat. En we zijn allemaal met insiders onder elkaar. Dus dat komt helemaal goed. Michael, praat ik door of is Chris er?
Ja, hij is net ingelogd in onze teamcall. Super, dankjewel Sander.
Top.
Yes, mensen, ik ga Chris voorstellen. Chris, are you there?
Hey Michael, I'm here.
So good, love it. First of all, thank you so much, Chris. We are really honored, so grateful to have you on our team call. Thank you in advance for making time and energy. It's so great to have you. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. When I see champions, I say, I want to be around a champion. And of course, Michael, that's you. This is arguably the fastest team in the entire company. And so congratulations to all of you. I love Sanders' energy, by the way. You know, one of the things I've always said is, you know, enthusiasm, it costs nothing to have, but it costs everything not to. And so there's so much power in having authentic energy and excitement for what you do, why you do it. And what a great team environment and culture that you've created, Michael, with this team. So honored to be on the call today.
So good. Thank you so much. Could you please, Chris, share with our team your story, your Isagenix story, how it began, how you involved?
Yes, absolutely. And so just a little background about me. I come from an athletic background. Obviously, I'm from the United States. And I come from a very, 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 very small town in the state of Kentucky. So if you're not familiar with the United States and you think New York and you think Florida, I'm basically in the middle of those two states, New York and Florida. So just a really small town in Kentucky where front teeth are optional. And I grew up playing sports. So I love all the different sports, and I got involved with baseball. And so I was fortunate to play, Michael, college baseball. And, you know, through college, I gained a degree in education and a master's degree in counseling. And I started to be a school teacher and a coach. I did that for 10 years and got involved in the sport of triathlon. And so last year I qualified for the Ironman World Championships. I'm not sure if you've had swimming, cycling, and running. So you swim 2.4 miles, you ride 112 miles on your bike, and then you run a full marathon following that. So I'm a punishment is, I guess, pain is something I enjoy. And so I just love competition. I love pushing myself to the limits. And, you know, my wife, she's a winner as well. And she's done great things in her life. She played college sports, was player of the year. She was coach of the year. And I just say all this really, Michael, to ask all of you the simple question that I tend to ask on a daily basis to the team is, who do you know? You know, who do you know that's maybe in education or an athlete, or they're a coach, or they're into accounting, because my wife was into accounting as a CPA and has a family. We have 4 kids. We're very busy. And we just simply, Michael, we wanted something more than what we had. And that's when a friend of mine knocked on my door back in 2008. We have to go back 14 years. I'd never been in business. I'd never been in network marketing. I'd never been in sales of any kind. But a friend introduced me to a health and wellness company, Michael, in the network marketing space. And when I saw it, I said, Sandra, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. I can go share some products. I can go share an opportunity for people to make what we call over here a side hustle, the ability to earn some additional income while you're working your full-time job and be able to have choices and options to do some things you wouldn't be able to do, and then be a part of a championship community, a culture, people that are talking about where they're going to, not what they're going through. They're optimistic, they're positive. And to be around all of that, I said, I'm in. And, you know, before that though, I did something I'd encourage all of you to do, which is something called a life audit. And Michael, what I mean by that is I looked at my life. I'd been teaching school for 10 years. I was the head coach of multiple sports, like a baseball and a basketball. So some of the popular sports over here in the States. And I didn't have a lot of time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to spend my life raising everyone else's kids and never see my own kids if I don't make a change. And I understand the only person that likes a change is a wet baby, but your life doesn't get better by chance. Your life gets better by change. And, you know, the problem for me, and maybe some of the problem for you to really go all in, all out and do this 100%, is I had something called the FUD factor, F-U-D. Maybe you experienced that before you jumped in. Maybe you're experiencing right now and you're kind of, I'm not sure if I can go all in. And FUD means fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And Michael, that's what I had back in 2008 is I was uncertain. I had lots of doubt. I had lots of fear as to, can I do this? I don't know anything about sales. I don't know anything about business. I've never been in network marketing. And I remember me looking at what I didn't have versus what I did have. I said things, Michael, like, if I just had the money. How many of you ever heard somebody in your network that said, oh, but Sandra, I don't have the money to do that. That was me. I was thinking, if I just had the money, Michael, I'd do it. If I just had the time. There's only 86,400 seconds every single day. There's 86,400 seconds that we all are gifted to make a difference with, to do what we want, or sometimes people are telling us what to do because we have a job. And so they're telling us to do X, whatever it is but there's 86,400 seconds. And so for me, I was like, gosh, I'm a school teacher. I'm a coach of multiple sports. If I just had the time, Michael, I would get involved in this health and wellness company. I'd get involved in network marketing. If I just had experience, I would do it. And a mentor, he once shared with me, he said, and this may not make sense to you, but over here in Kentucky, he said, Chris, if frogs had pockets, they'd carry guns and shoot snakes, but frogs don't have pockets and frogs don't shoot snakes. And so for me, I had to do something called change my perspective. And I had to look at things a little bit different. And once I did that, Michael, here's what I learned. I said, you know what? I don't have the money to get started, but I have a card called Master. And so I was able to start my business in 2008, $1,000 investment. I know many of you invested a much smaller amount of money, but for me back in 2008, that was the amount you had to essentially invest to be a part of the business. And so I didn't have the money. I was more month at the end of the money, but I said, you know what? I have a card called MasterCard. And I was able to use something called OPM, which is other people's money, meaning I was able to use the MasterCard. And I knew I had, Michael, about 30 days to get my money back. And so again, perspective, changing the way you think. I didn't have the time, but what I learned was, Michael, that my busyness, because I was around people, could build my multi-million-dollar business. And so I was just able to change that perspective. Didn't have experience, but here's what I learned, team, and what you can learn, what you're learning and what your prospects, the people that are taking a look at this company and taking a look at you and your leadership and your community is, Michael, I'd never been in business, as I'd said before, but what I learned is that there was a team of leaders like you, Michael, like Sandra, and so many other top-notch people producing in a big way on this team. I learned that there were people like you that would train me, teach me, coach me, and provide the resources and a path for me to win at whatever my level was. And so we have to stop looking at what we don't have and start looking at what we do. And so what I did is I took advice of one of our former presidents of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Many of you have heard of Honest Abe, Abraham Lincoln. He said, good things may come to those who wait, but only the things left, Michael, by those who hustle. And so I said, you know what? I don't have the skills. I don't have the talent, but I can at least hustle. And so what I did is I started taking action and I started to hustle. And what happened for me, and maybe it's what's happened for you, maybe it's not now, you're obviously having some success, but I had lots of flips, flops, fumbles, failures. My wife tells me screwing up's the spiritual gift of mine. I had lots of mess ups. There was lots of hiccups for me when I started. In fact, my motto, I had so much rejection. How many of you have had some people say, get lost, don't ever talk to me again? That was me. That was like my normal day-to-day routine was, Chris, don't ever talk to me again about that. And so I had lots of rejection. My motto, though, this is perspective, the way you think. And champions, they think, and maybe we'll get into that in a little bit, but having that championship mindset, my motto was tell me no, you tell me no, Michael, and watch me go. Sandra, you tell me no and watch me go. That was my motto because that helped drive me. You know, we talk about making a list. Make a list of potential customers. Make a list of potential business partners. Make a list of the people that you'd want to work with. And so I had so much rejection. I had a special list called Make Them Pay. I had a Make Them Pay list. I'm gonna make you pay for telling me no. And so that was a drive for me. And maybe that can be a drive for you, because when I was feeling down and out, and team, let me tell you, you're not always going to have the energy. You're not always going to have the enthusiasm. You're not going to have that. You're not always going to have what I call the GOS, the grand opening spirit, that getting started spirit you had when you started. Like, I'm going to do this in a big, big way. You're going to have some days that are down. You're going to have some days where, man, you've been hit, you've been knocked down. But I can tell you, if you have that Make Them Pay group, that group that's told, you know, they drove me to go to the next level. And so what happened, Michael, is over time, after doing this part-time for a couple of years, so I was still teaching school, I was still coaching all these different sports, is through the pockets of my day, I was able to listen to a Michael say, man, I want more than what I have. I want to build a big business. And I was able to team up with people like a Michael, team up with the people like a Sandra, team up with the people like a Debbie, and so many other great people. I'm just using you all as examples. And I was able to walk into my employer, the superintendent of my school, and I said, Mr. Superintendent, I got a vision problem. And he said, what's wrong? I said, yeah, I don't see myself working here anymore. So I was able to walk away from teaching and coaching after doing this part-time for 2 years, Michael. But it took some work. It took some time. It took some effort. It took some being coachable, not chokeable. You know, some of us, we get stubborn in our ways, and instead of following the system that Michael has laid out, and instead of following the process and the path that Isagenix laid out, sometimes we're stubborn as to doing it our own way. And so we have to be coachable, not chokeable. And so I was able to walk away, go from, and again, this is not to impress you, it's just to let you know that if you'll be coachable, you'll have a desire for more, you'll be consistent, you'll do the things over a period of time. I went from one person, Michael, when I started, to 10, to 100, to now several 100,000 customers and associates that's a part of our organization. And so if I can do it from a little small town, then you can do it if you want something more than what you have. So it's a quick snapshot of my story, Michael.
Amazing, Chris. Thank you. Thank you so much already. Let's talk about, for us for sure, next week in Nootropic Elixir. So we're going to launch it here in Europe next Wednesday, 9th of November. Yes, you have it already in the States back there. But the team is very curious, Chris. First of all, your personal experience. Tell me a little bit more about the product. How did you launch it? How did you do to business perspective? How did it went for you when you launched Nootropic Elixir, please?
Absolutely, Michael. You know, one of the things that Isagenix has transitioned in is look better, feel better, and Nootropic Elixir now is think better. And if we were to audit again, we were to assess our network, our community, the people that we're around, colleagues, people we work with, is there's a fogginess, meaning people have a hard time thinking clearly. And one of the things that this product does is it helps with concentration. It helps with clarity. One of the sayings that I've shared with the team for years is we have to get out of the fog of the complex into the clarity of the simple. And one of the things I love about this product is my personal experience, Michael. I use 2 of these a day. Now, I'm one of those abundance type mindset people. And so when someone says, hey, 1 is good, then for me, 2 is better. And so I'm always doing more than what someone says. So I'm not telling you to do that, but I do think it's important, Michael, to be a product of the product. And so if you're going to share a product, then you certainly want to be a product of the product so that your words are authentic and you can be transparent in your own experience. Now, my whole business, though, was built on other people's stories. So if I were you with this great team, and this is a big, big call, is to use one another to benefit all of your businesses. That means for all of you to be a product of the product. And so if you're looking for more concentration, you're looking to improve, you're like, man, I'm starting to forget some things, Michael. I can't quickly recall what I used to. this is a great memory booster. I am so crystal clear, especially on number 2 of these every day, is the ideas, the clarity, the concentration, to be able to focus in. Most people, they're not productive because they can't focus, they can't concentrate. Their memory's a little foggy, their clarity is a little foggy. So this really focuses in, Michael, on the clarity piece of your mind, to be able to think better. And when you can think better, what can you do, team? You can do better. So when you look better, feel better, and then think better, you can now do better. So one of the things that we did as we launch any product, Michael, is I do something. This would be a multi-million-dollar tip for you. I've done it for 14 years. Anytime there's been a product launch, whether it be a small product or a big product, doesn't really matter, is it's an opportunity for me to do something that I call a U-turn. And what I mean by a U-turn is, how many of you all have people that's told you no in your career in this business? And remember, when they say no, they really mean not yet. They were moving so fast, they didn't even get out of the not yet part. So I'm always looking positive to say, when somebody says no, it just means that timing isn't right. They're not saying no to me. They're just saying no to the timing. And so I always do a U-turn, Michael, to let these people know that there's a new product that they may be interested in. So I always keep a log of all the people that's told me no. I also U-turn the people, Michael, that have at some point ordered a product in our arsenal of products, meaning they've been a customer at some point. And so I let them know. Again, it gives me an excuse, if you will, an opportunity to go back and say, hey, Michael, I know you used a product 2 years ago. I wanted to let you know that we have a new product, and you hit a couple of highlights of the nootropic elixir, and you're just U-turning all of the potential people that have not used any product, people that have used product in the past. And then more importantly for me is any old associate that maybe is no longer on any kind of auto order. I let them know about this product because it could be a restart, reset, reboot, relaunch, a new beginning for them to start and launch a new product that they can try on their own or that they can share. So I think all of our team members who are active should obviously buy the product, be a product of the product, start building those stories. But for us to have good launches of any product, I always do the U-turn. It gives me an excuse to talk to some people that either haven't joined or they have purchased product in the past, or maybe they even made a couple of checks, Michael, in the past, but I get to touch them and let them know about this new product. So I'm excited about this product. We use it every single day. I think you all will you will enjoy it from a clarity standpoint. And then I think it's always a great way to touch some people that you haven't talked to in a while.
Great stuff, Chris. And would you recommend then nootropic on its own, like when you have a new customer, like it's a pack, it's a 4-pack, it's a 6-pack, or do you recommend it to customers like in combination with other products, with the nutrition, maybe with collagen? How do you see that?
Michael, we're in the business of sales, brother. So for me, I'm always going to market products, or if we want to say upsell. I don't love upsell. I really just like to be transparent with my community, with my network, and the team that I represent. I always want to train people to be authentic, people to be transparent, and people to be honest in their own experiences. Or that's where you all come in together as a team of, Michael, you really enjoy whatever that product is, and maybe I don't have an experience, but I can share your story of your success for someone to not only use, hey, order the nootropic, but here's what else works really well with the nootropic. If you're looking for overall well-being, you're looking at living a good, long, healthy life, is adding one of the nutritional products, Michael. So I'm not sure exactly what specific products that really light your fire and really get you moving and excited. I love all the products. I love them. It's like we have an isogenics warehouse here at our house. We have 4 kids, my wife, and so I'm a triathlete, and we use so much products. It's like, have we even eaten anything other than isogenics today. I like collagen and nootropic and adaptogen and shakes and all the products because they're phenomenal. So I think we all have to, of course, strategize so we're all working one band, one sound synergistically, because when we're all moving cohesively, then we build momentum. And so I think that's probably a topic, Michael, that you guys will want to expand on post this call as to, you know, what are a couple of the other products that you all could add? Because I think we're missing the boat, Michael, if we're only marketing this one product. I think this is an entry point now, because what do people love? They love new. Anything new they love. So this becomes now, that's why I'm saying U-turn is, man, they've been hearing you talk about those same products for a long time. Well, now we have a new product. You can U-turn with those old prospects, those old customers, those old these older associates, and you can market the new product. But what are you doing? You're using that as a bridge to then bring aboard these other nutritionals, these other products. So that allows for you to increase what we call the order basket. So instead of them ordering $100 worth of product or whatever, they may order $300 worth of product. And then if you scale that and you think, gosh, we have 100 people on our team, or 1,000 people on our team, or 10,000 people on our team. Now, instead of $100 order, you get $300 order. You've just increased the revenue of your team to experience the price. So it's just, it's a bigger way of thinking as it relates to long-term growth, because the more products that your customers and your team experience, the higher likelihood that they're going to enjoy not just one product, say the nootropic, but the other products as well. And what we want is lifetime users. We want people to not just order at one time. We want people to order the products multiples of times, because what are you getting paid? Every single month you're getting paid when those people order those products.
Great. So we can see it as not only for people who has an office job, or if people have to be more concentrated on their job. So it's really for everybody. Would you recommend it to sporters also, who people do performance?
Anybody that is performing, and that's a great word, I think, Michael, that you used, is performance. It's very rare for anyone in any kind of employment, whether they're working a normal job, or they're an entrepreneur and they own a business, or they're an athlete, is everyone's in some form of performance. They have some KPIs, some key performance indicators that they are driving and measuring to whether they're having success or not. Who wouldn't want to perform better? Who wouldn't want to think better so they could maximize those 86,400 seconds every single day? Because Michael, you may be more talented than me, but if I can think clearer and I can concentrate better, my memory's on point, I don't have the fog that you have, over time, what's going to happen? I'm going to start performing at a higher level than you, because I'm able to utilize that time every single day, because I have what I call the secret weapon, man, the nootropic elixir. And so that's what anybody that's any kind of performance, I think this product is for them.
All right, super. Thank you, Chris. Let me see some questions in the chat. Sandra asked, how do you explain the difference between nootropics and the e-shots? Yeah,
so I don't want to get into being a doctor. That it was not one of the things that I shared. I was a teacher and I'm a coach, but I am not Dr. Plant. I am not one of the health professionals that Isagenix. What I would encourage you to do is go to isagenixhealth.net, the websites that have all the different research and all of the different things. Of course, eShot provides massive, incredible energy, nootropic. So there certainly can be some correlations of some of the different other products that you use. But I think the key components of clarity, concentration, memory, those are some of the things that I think really magnify with the nootropic elixir, where some of the other products that we may have, like an eShot, is certainly going to provide that energy. It's going to, the energy, and that sometimes helps with clarity and concentration, but this is a magnification of that clarity, concentration, memory, and very specific with your brain and thinking. So
Okay.
I don't want to get into the health, like over the health questions. I'm more of a business strategist of using these great products and how we can market them to scale out our business.
All right, great stuff, Chris. Team, any more questions? Do we have any more questions for Chris about anything, and not only about nootropics? Everything is possible.
It looks like someone said in the comments about, I think Dr. Plant did a podcast or did. Yeah. And so there's lots of different information on the nootropics that we can say. I can send to you, Michael, and you can relay to the team. And I'll do that after the call. But again, anytime there's a new product launch, it's a great opportunity for you. Again, the multi-million-dollar tip would be that U-turn of expanding your network. And, you know, when I think, Michael, about the business is most people, you know, unfortunately, they get focused on linear growth, meaning they just essentially only recruit income, meaning the only way that they make money is if they're doing the work. Now, for me, I like if I can teach a lot of people to do a little, and we have lots of people making money. So you all think about it. Do you just want to make money, or do you want your team to make money? And so we want to always be focusing on how we can impact our team so that they can win. And I think if we will focus on helping our team win, we'll naturally win. So the duplication, Michael, is key. Is we've got to go wide. So we've got to bring on new people, all of us, and then we need to find out who they know so that we can work through and around our network so that we can grow their people, because we're the ones with the skills. You all have the skills, you all have the experience. When you bring on a new person, they're drinking from it. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. This is great community, great company, great products. What do I do? What do I do? And so a lot of times they get paralyzed. They get analysis, what we call analysis paralysis. And so while they're doing that, we want to know who they know so we can work with their people while they can learn while they earn, is what our little saying we've said for 14 years is, man, I'd rather people earn money while they learn the system, while they learn the product education, while they learn the industry, is let's go ahead and help them earn some income. Because what does a check do, Michael? A check buys time for them to get plugged into a great Zoom like this. A check buys time for them to get plugged into more knowledge, to get plugged into some more education, to get plugged into some and hearing more stories. So what we want people to do as quick as we can is we want to help them make a check, because a check will buy time. The only reason I know that is because that's what happened to me back in 2008, Michael, is I didn't know anything. I just had energy. I was excited. And fortunately, I had a couple of people that decided to try some products and get started for me. And that helped me get a check, and that helped me buy time and build the belief and the certainty and the confidence that this could be a vehicle, this could be a path that could change my family history forever. And that's exactly what happened. So.
All right, super, Chris. You touched it a little bit, but Jill asked it again in the chat. So we have for sure you have a big team. So how do you do it with duplication? What's your tool for duplication?
Yeah, so just like you guys, I'm sure you all have some form of hub, or you have a place where people can go to learn exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And so we have just a real simple team system that when someone gets started, we direct them to a quick website that tells them exactly what to do. And so I don't want to interfere with your system. The key is that you have one. And, you know, systems work, people fail. I need you to remember that. It's not how good you are, because I've seen some really skilled, talented, I mean, they are good. But Michael, the beauty of this business is if you can't duplicate that, then I'm going to beat you, because I have an army of pretty good, okay associates that are going to beat you as one person. So it's always about, man, a system is going to duplicate to the mass. You know, if you take I'll do an example of linear and geometric progression. That's multiplication, because what you all have to buy into is, or at least assess yourself is, am I doing an addition and subtraction business? Meaning, is my business, I'm adding a few, subtracting a few more, and it's like my business is kind of like, ooh, it's up and down, but about the same? Or do I want a multiplication business where I go from 10 people to 100 people in a week? Well, that means something's happening where people are doing the same things. They're using a system. So if you were to walk, say 30 steps, 30 linear steps, you would walk about, most of us, 90 feet. But if you were to take 30 geometric steps, it's multiplication. Listen to me, you would travel the globe 26 times. So the question is, do I want a business that goes 90 feet, or do I want a business that travels the globe 26 times? That's the power of multiplication. And where does multiplication come from? Multiplication comes from a system. And so for us, it's real simple. We call it peak, pass, plug. But again, it's not about what we do. It's about you having a system that can duplicate. And so all we try to do is get people to create curiosity. And so that would be peaking with a picture or some form of statement. Then you pass them to a tool, and a tool could be a video. It could be something that Michael has created. It could be something the company has created. So you pique their interest, you pass them to a tool, and then what we do is we plug people into stories. Because remember, knowledge leads to conclusion, but it's emotion. It's a feeling that leads to action. You know, knowledge trains, which is important, but checks sustain. And so in order for that to happen, what we want to do is connect people to what I call their FPS, their future potential self. So if I have a prospect that's a female who's a mom of 2, who is a nurse, then Michael, I simply say, hey, Michael, do you have anybody in your team that's a nurse, that's in the health industry, that maybe has a couple of kids? I really would love for that person to share their story with this female who is a nurse who has a couple of kids, because I'm a dude. And so if I can get a female connected to a female, what it does is it builds that belief of, oh, maybe I can, if she's doing it, maybe I can do it. And what we want people to do is for them to say, oh, me too. Not so what? So what, Michael? So what, Sander? So what that you've had all that success? I'm not you. I don't have your skills. You want to connect people to other people that they can see themselves in. So we've just gotten really good over 14 years. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. Remember, success happens daily, not in a day. So if you're striving and thriving for success and you're hitting a few bumps in the road, then that just simply means you're on the right track. That's just part of the success road, is you're going to have to embrace some of the bumps. But for us, Michael, it's simply, we connected lots of stories, and that became part of our system, is how many stories are you connecting on a daily basis? Because that's a metric and a key, what we call a KPI, a key performance indicator of your business, not just growing, because there's lots of teams that you've seen. How many of you have ever seen somebody in your team that they're growing and they have sales happening, but they have no idea how it's happening? And then all of a sudden it goes from way up to they don't even exist today. And they don't exist today because they weren't driving any system or a process that would work in spite of them, meaning their business only grew when they were growing it. And so what I love, Michael, about the concept of sharing stories and connecting leaders to prospects and just fundamental stories is that's duplicatable. And if we know that people take action off of emotion, why would I not introduce someone that has the emotion that's going to drive them to make a decision? And so that's a metric. That's a KPI, a key performance indicator, that says the more stories that are being shared in our team, the more checks that are happening in our team. So that's a direct correlation. The more stories, the more checks. And the more checks that your team has, the more leverage that you have. So for leaders like a Michael and some of you that I don't know yet, is if you'll have more people making checks, you have more of an insulated leverage business, meaning your business can multiply much faster. So that's one of the things, Michael, that we do. And then this right here, having events, having them live, having them on Zoom, doing a combination. The more events that are happening in your team directly correlates to the number of people making checks.
Such a valuable information, Chris. So good, so good. Okay, to wrap up this call, a question for me, and I think for sure for everybody, is to stay in the game, because we have people here on the team call who just got started. They maybe a couple of months in the team, in the business. Some people are a couple of years in the team. Very important. How important is it to stay in the game?
Listen, one of the messages that I shared with our team just last week, great question, by the way, which was to plug in, to plug in or stay plugged in. And so when I look around at all these pictures of everyone, I see for the most part people with lights on. And so lights means you have electricity. And we all enjoy some form of electricity with lights and television and electronics and being able to have heat and cold. And that's this business. If you're not plugged in to the team, if you're not plugged in or staying in the game, then what's going to happen is you're going to get cold and you're going to drift away from what's going to grow your business. If you've ever been in an ocean, I know for me, Michael, when I was a kid, I loved playing in the ocean. And what would happen is I would get so focused on riding the waves in the ocean that 10, 15 minutes later, I would look up and where's my parents? I don't see them. Is the ocean created a drift, and I drifted, and I was, meters away from where I started. And that's what happens in our business is if we're not plugged into the leader, we're not plugged into the company, we're not plugged into the system that's going to grow our business, it's easy for us to what? Drift and get focused on some other things that's not going to grow our business. And sometimes, Michael, it's getting around the negative Nancy's, the Debbie Downers, the pessimist Pete's, the sour Steves, the wisecracks at work that know nothing about nothing, making payments on everything, 6 clicks left to clueless. And all of a sudden you become what? You become negative. And you become negative because you're not staying in the game or plugged into the leader. Here's what I can tell you. Michael is an absolute warrior. He's a champion. I'm taking time out of our Sunday here where we live and our family, we have our kids and we've got Michael asked me to be on this call, and I don't know any of you, but I know that you're winners. And I know you're winners because you're connected to Michael. And because I know enough of Michael through Zach and Eden, and because of what Michael has produced, it was worth my time to say, hey, anything I can do to offer any value to your team, I'll do it, because man, you're a champion. You're a winner. You're what and who people should follow and plug into, because you're not talking the talk, you're walking the talk. Meaning, a pint of examples worth a gallon of advice. There's lots of people, Michael, out there that are what I call professors. You see on social media, all these coaches and trainers and people that they haven't made any money. They don't have any big team, but they're being a professor trying to tell you. What I love about you, Michael, is you're a professional. You're somebody who has walked the talk. You're not just saying it, but you're doing it. And so, man, if I were any of these team members here, I would number one say, I'm committed and I'm going to plug into Michael's leadership. I'm going to plug into Isogenics and the system that can grow my business. And if you'll do that over time, you're going to win.
Chris, thank you so much. You're the best. You rock. Thank you so much again for your time. We really appreciate it. People put some love in the chats. Some love for Chris in our chats. Thank you so much again, Chris. I hope we meet soon somewhere on a nicer rally trip for sure. We meet again.
Absolutely. Well, you all get your hopes up. Remember, there's no hopeless situations, only people who think hopelessly. So get your hopes up. Your best days are just ahead. Stay close to Michael. I appreciate all of your time tonight.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you again. Have a great day. Yeah? Bye. Super. Sander, back to you.
Zo, nou om in de energie van Chris te blijven, Michael. Holy shit, man. Die had wat e-shots op. Nou, echt super, super tof. Ik hoop dat jullie allemaal er iets uit hebben gehaald qua nootropic, qua energie. Ik denk een van zijn sterke punten van Chris is de energie die hij meebrengt. Energie is alles, alles is energie, hebben we vaak over gehad. We gaan een paar minuten uitlopen. Dus ik wil vragen, de 72 mensen die nu nog in de call zijn, blijven bij. Dat is ook respectvol. We hebben een aantal collega's gevraagd. Die hebben een paar dagen de tijd gehad om wat dingen voor te bereiden. Dat zijn de 7 core commitments. Dus het wordt een eerste keer dat ze in deze zondagtraining aan het woord komen. Dus please stay here. Ik ga beginnen met Sabine. Sabine Tielemans, ben je daar? Goedenavond.
Zeker, goedenavond.
Hey Sabine, jij gaat van start en jij doet de eerste 2 core commitments uitleggen.
Yes, klopt. Core commitment nummer 1 is reach out. Zorg ervoor dat je zowel online als offline je reach out doet. Zet voor jezelf het doel 15 mensen per week, per dag. Kan zowel online als offline. Pak een platform wat bij jou past. Instagram, Facebook, social media. Maar belly-to-belly kan natuurlijk ook. Maar ja, wat mij helpt is, ik maak een contactlijst van zowel warme als koude contacten. Van mensen op mijn werk, op de sportschool, op een verjaardag, bedrijven, verenigingen, etc. En ik probeer ook te zorgen dat ik een 30-second talk klaar heb. Dus zowel over de producten als over de business opportunity, zodat je die snel kunt delen. En op die manier ook een beetje een connectie met de mensen kunt opbouwen. Ik ga ook altijd op zoek van wat is een gemeenschappelijke deler. Heb je dezelfde hobby? Heb je connecties die je kent, allebei? Zodat je er eigenlijk makkelijk een ingang kan gaan vinden om de business opportunity uit te kunnen gaan leggen. Core commitment nummer 2 is commit to een online event. Ja, zoals we vanavond natuurlijk met z'n allen doen. Ik vind het heel goed en het is ook heel belangrijk voor de consistentie. Dat je ook je prospects, je klanten kunt sturen. Ja, niet naar de teammeeting, maar wel bijvoorbeeld naar een well-being webinar op woensdagavond of een Money Monday op maandag. Het is consistent iedere week, dus je kunt je prospects, je associates er naartoe sturen. Dat vind ik heel belangrijk, zodat je echt die verbinding houdt en dat het ook echt een ongoing business blijft. Dat waren voor mij de 2 core commitments.
Cool, dankjewel Sabine. Goed gedaan. En we zien elkaar binnenkort weer bij het Opportunity evenement in heel Varenbeek.
Zeker.
Waar je een van de drijvende krachten bent. Dankjewel. Voor core commitment nummer 3 gaan we naar Bart Slaman. Bart, ben je daar? Goedenavond.
Ja, ik ben er zeker.
Hey Bart.
Goedenavond allemaal. Eerst even te beginnen over de flow en peperimreet eigenlijk. Ik ben net begonnen met Isagenex een maandje. Ik zit er nu een maand. En ik moet zeggen dat ik de laatste 3 weken echt zoveel zin heb om hiermee aan de slag te gaan. Het was helemaal nieuw voor mij. En ik vind het ontzettend leuk om te doen. Dus ik zit ook alleen maar met mijn oortjes in de hele dag. Een podcast luisteren van Fraser Brooks en dergelijke en GUV. En dat helpt mij gewoon enorm. En daardoor blijf ik ook eigenlijk een beetje in die vibe waar ik nu in zit. Mijn core commitment 3 is offline events. 20 november hebben we natuurlijk Super Sunday. Die wordt een actieve dag met heel veel trainingen waarbij we zelf ook actief zullen zijn. Dat is in het Radisson Blu Hotel. Dan hebben we 14 januari in Rotterdam een meeting van 10:30 tot 5 in het Novotel in Rotterdam. Daar worden nieuwe producten gelanceerd, nieuwe campagnes. Misschien een nieuwe IJsselrally. Ik heb geen idee wat het is, maar waarschijnlijk wordt die geïntroduceerd. En trainingen. Die tickets die zijn op dit moment nog €15. Na verloop van tijd worden ze €25. Dus misschien handig om snel in te schrijven. Exact dezelfde training. Die is 15 januari ook in Antwerpen in het Novotel. Dus niet in het Radisson Blu waar we 20 november zitten. Maar in het Novotel in Antwerpen. Dat was mijn core commitment nummer 3.
Top, dankjewel Bart. En
Graag gedaan.
wij gaan binnenkort beginnen in Amsterdam, waar we ook gaan beginnen met maandelijkse opportunity evenementen. De eerste datum gaan we deze week bekendmaken. Dus voor iedereen die ook in de regio Amsterdam wil prospecten en wil bouwen, we gaan van start. Dankjewel Bart. Ik ga over naar mijn naamgenoot Sander Recour. Ben je daar? Goedenavond.
Ja, ik ben er. Horen jullie mij?
Ja, jij gaat beginnen met core commitment nummer 4.
Yes, core commitment, commit to personal development. Nou, eigenlijk heeft mijn voorganger ook al wat dingetjes genoemd. Bezoek events, zowel online als offline. Want je kan er altijd wat van leren. Dus ga gewoon naar Antwerpen, kom naar Rotterdam in januari. Bezoek de offline events. En wat ik ook als tip wil geven, bezoek ook eens gewoon collega's van je. Ik ben ook naar Scheveningen geweest, naar een Sip en Sample. Je kan elkaar steunen en je leert er ook ontzettend veel van. En podcasts luisteren, ja, doe ik ook eigenlijk heel veel. 2 tips had ik opgeschreven. Ben Tigelaar. Die heeft altijd wel goede, leuke dingen. En eentje wat ik ook een topper vind is Veronique Prins. De Kick-Ass Business Coach. Dat is ook een toppertje om op te zoeken. En verder, boeken. Ik ben een beetje doorgeslagen met boeken bestellen. Maar ik lees ze niet allemaal helemaal, maar ik haal er wel super dingen uit. Het laatste boek wat ik nu besteld heb is het in spiegelbeeld of is het in... het is echt een topboek. Dus zorg dat je blijft ontwikkelen, blijft lezen, blijft nieuwe dingetjes uitproberen. Ja, dat is eigenlijk de 4e core commitment.
Top. Ik kom straks nog bij je terug voor core commitment nummer 6, Sander. En dat boek,
Yes.
als ik het goed heb gelezen, wordt dus volwassen. Ik ga hem bestellen. Oké. We gaan naar Hugo. Hugo Boel voor core commitment nummer 5. Hugo, goedenavond.
Goedenavond allemaal. Ik hoop dat jullie mij een beetje kunnen verstaan, want ik heb een beetje een lichte keelontsteking. Dus wellicht kom ik niet helemaal zuiver over, maar voor hetzelfde geld gaat het weer over. Het is gelukkig geen C, want ik ben negatief getest, maar goed. Hoe kan je mensen benaderen? Hoe doe je dat? Nou, de mensen die ik wil gaan benaderen, dus daar maak ik een lijst van met mensen die ik wil benaderen. En vraag ze of ze mogelijk geïnteresseerd zijn in geld verdienen of een business op te bouwen. En of een gezonde leven door middel van natuurlijke gezonde middelen. En of ze ook zin hebben in beide. Nou, dan begin ik vaak uit te leggen over de producten. Wat ze doen met de mensen en wat voor resultaat ze daar hebben. Daar geef ik dan ook wat samples voor. Om ze dus de mensen met de dingen mogen proberen. En dan leg ik ook uit hoe het systeem werkt. Dus ze kunnen in eerste instantie gewoon ook klant worden. En, waarmee ze dan alles kunnen proeven. En ze kunnen, als ze dan toch geïnteresseerd zijn ook, nou, willen jullie daar ook meer geld verdienen? Want zeg ik ook, dan kan je dus inderdaad doorgaan naar associate. Dan word je dus lid van de club met €35 per jaar. En dan ga je dus bouwen aan je linker en een rechterbeen. En van daaruit komen er dus bonussen enzovoorts. En hoe hoger je dus in de rang komt, hoe meer geld je ook kan verdienen. En om ze daar ook heel wegwijzers te maken, dan vertel je ze ook hoe ze dus in kunnen loggen, hoe ze kunnen bestellen, hoe ze lid kunnen worden van de Isa Live app. Kunnen meedoen aan de Body Challenge, waar nog een aardige, leuke bonus aan ligt. En ook vooral het toevoegen aan de social media, de core groep, de Facebook groep enzovoorts. En daarnaast kunnen ze ook alles lezen, hoe ze dus in de back-office, hoe ze alles na kunnen lezen. Dat is een beetje wat ik dan de mensen uitleg en meegeef.
Helemaal goed. Het is net gelukt met je stem zo te horen. Dus Dose Nootropic Elixir komt er deze week aan. Dankjewel. Ik ga nog één keer terugschakelen naar Sander Recour voor core commitment nummer 6. We zijn er bijna. Hi Sander.
Ja, daar ben ik weer. Ik zat net even in mijn app terug te bladeren. Maar Chris was het net toch, die we als spreker hadden?
Hiervoor zat Hugo.
Nee, degene die de
ja,
presentatie
dat was
gaf.
Chris. Ja, klopt.
Ja, had ik net goed onthouden. Ja, want ik had het net over Scheveningen terwijl ik in Zandvoort was. Dus ik heb waarschijnlijk ook wat van die andere nieuwe flesjes nodig. Maar de
Inderdaad,
zeven...
Zandvoort.
Ja, het was Zandvoort, ja.
Ik
Sorry.
herkende je.
Ja. Ik kom nog een keer hoor.
Leuk, leuk.
Oké. De zevende is Map Your Road to Executive. Nou, Chris heeft er al heel veel, eigenlijk al wat over verteld, wat dingetjes. Maak een lijstje met de mensen die je wil gaan benaderen. 5 links, 5 rechts. Nou ja, 5 is natuurlijk wel net het minimale. Dus maak een groter lijstje met mensen die je wilt benaderen daarvoor. En in die posities wil gaan plaatsen. En vanuit daaruit kan je dus verder gaan bouwen daaraan. Dus zorg dat je in ieder geval weet wie je wil gaan benaderen, wie je al gehad hebt. Ik vond de tip van de U-turn ook wel super. Dat je op een later moment nog een keer bij die mensen terugkomt. Dan kan je op die manier, je kan een heel mooi papiertje ook uitdraaien. Heb ik ergens op een site ook gevonden. Waar je het precies op uit kan schrijven wie je wil gaan benaderen en wanneer. En dan krijg je precies een mooi overzichtje van hoe je dat aan wil gaan pakken. Dus dat is de zevende. De zesde.
De zesde, heel goed.
Ja.
Scheveningen en nummer 7, heel goed. Sander, dankjewel. Nootropics is naar jou onderweg. We hebben...
Ik bestel een pallet.
Heel goed. Daar hou ik je aan. Last but not least, core commitment nummer 7. Ook voor haar hartelijk welkom. Elisabeth, ben je daar? Goedenavond.
Ja?
Ja, ik hoor je. Ja, gaat goed.
Oh, toen vind ik dat spannend. Nou moet ik natuurlijk iets gaan vertellen met wat we nog niet hebben gehoord. Na zo'n fantastische training van Chris en mijn voorgaande collega's natuurlijk. De laatste, nummer 7 core commitments is stay in the game. Blijf bezig. En dat is ook meteen de reden, denk ik, dat je mij deze hebt gevraagd. Want dat is een van mijn grootste uitdagingen persoonlijk. Geef jezelf de tijd in deze business. Het is niet quick rich. Je kijkt op de langere termijn. Geef jezelf in ieder geval, ik denk minstens een jaar, 12 maanden de skills te leren, de vaardigheden. Om echt de business een goede kans te geven. Zodat je iets duurzaams kunt opbouwen. En ik dus als je een keer wat voelt of het wil, dat het zit tegen, dat je dan niet hide and seek doet, net als wat ik dan wel eens doe. Dan ben ik undercover en dan zie je mij wel even niet. Maar dus blijven wandelen. En ik heb natuurlijk hier een beetje op voorbereid. En toen dacht ik, oh ja, ik moet gewoon lopen. Ik bedoel, er loopt nu nog een Rapid Crystal Reset en dat is superleuk. Dat is hardlopen. Moet ik het zeggen? Dat is even hardlopen, dan trek je een sprintje. En dan wissel je dat weer af met een rustiger tempo, maar blijf in beweging. En network marketing zie ik als een vak, wat je dus echt moet leren. Dus ook deze trainingen zijn ontzettend belangrijk, naast alle andere core commitments. En ik zie het eigenlijk ook een beetje als een sport. Voordat je echt heel goed bent, heb je ook heel wat trainingsuren achter de rug. En ik merk wel in de business hoe meer ervaring, hoe leuker ik het ook eigenlijk ga vinden. Het wordt wat makkelijker, eenvoudiger. Het gaat wat vloeiender en dat geeft nog meer zelfvertrouwen. En ja, misschien is dat heen moet. En en ik heb nog ik heb stiekem een spiegel, maar dat hadden jullie wel door. Als het dan echt tegen zit, herinner je dan je why. Waarom ben ik hier aan begonnen? En hang je ook, we hebben laatst een vision board gemaakt in de leaders in de action training. Hang hem gewoon zichtbaar. Zodat je tegenkomt in huis. Zodat je steeds weer je herinnert waarom je eigenlijk bent gestart. En ook op die moeilijke momenten trekt het je dan weer erdoorheen. Blijf bezig. Het is ook voor mezelf. Blijf bezig. Blijf wandelen. Hier en daar een sprintje. En af en toe even knallen. En dan...
Top. Heel goed. Dankjewel Elisabeth. Ik wil alle sprekers die de 7 core commitments hebben geleverd.
Heel knap.
Danken. Iedereen die in de call vandaag was super gaaf. We hadden bijna 80 mensen in de call. Voor de mensen die nog willen inpluggen bij Zack en Eden, voel je ze ook weer welkom. We zullen de recording van deze call in de groepen posten. Kijk hem desnoods nog een keer. Delen met je teamies. Volgende week 7 andere mensen voor de core commitments. En een ander thema. We zien u graag de 20e in Antwerpen. Mocht je nog geen tickets hebben, dan zorg ervoor dat je nog even tickets scoort. En het allerbelangrijkste voor komende week is Nootropic Elixir gaat live woensdagavond 9 uur. Let op dat de bestellingen erin gaan woensdagavond 9 uur. We hebben een doel met ons allen om dat distributiecentrum leeg te verkopen. Dus woensdagavond 9 uur kunnen we alles gaan inpluggen. Wij wensen jullie veel succes. Maak veel reclame online, want dat gaat mensen aantrekken die zich beter willen focussen, concentreren, geheugen, et cetera, et cetera. Voor nu nogmaals, dank jullie wel. We zien elkaar snel weer. Groetjes allemaal. Ciao, ciao.